Yeah, that's great. So also, I am understanding you guys got several options for lab testing. Based upon products you already have, but you've just brought on a recently a new one. Can you tell us a little bit about your products you have and what this new one is that you've brought on?
Yeah, yeah. So we have some lab testing available through the virtual primary care products that we work with. And when we're talking about genetic testing, lipid panels, things like that. Are relatively basic, but pretty standard for what you might receive from an in-person annual visit. Just doing the dry blood sample and a cheek swab a lot of times is what a lot of these programs do. There may be some variance there, and I think those are great, and it's a great part of, and it's included in the price of the virtual primary care for every user. But um, if you want to take a little deeper dive into genetic testing, we have developed a relationship, and so we now have partnered with some folks who are able to help us to provide some really in-depth biomarker testing. Uh, you know,
And I was going to say, and how exactly is it different as far as from your ordinary standard lab testing to
sure.
the new genetic testing?
It's just a lot more in depth, and this is going to tell you things, like genetic predispositions. It's going to tell you things about optimal. You're going to receive information about optimized nutrition. What's the best time of day to eat for you? What are some of the best things to eat for you? It's going to tell you about, all kinds of. And again, I'm not a genetic testing expert, but what I do know is that this type of information is extremely useful to your wellness coach, to your nutritionist, and to your fitness coach, even potentially to your primary care doctor. And so the most valuable piece of this is the ability to possess and provide this data to help those medical professionals that you work with. And again, we want to integrate all these things together into one app. Okay. So, but we want to have as much data at the fingertips available for these primary care, urgent care counselors, psychiatrists, as possible. And so really in-depth biomarker testing, in this one in particular that we're discussing, is testing over 100 different biomarkers. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I have all of those memorized, but it's very in depth, and it's about the most robust biomarker testing program that I have found and that I've come across. And so I'm really, and there's some AI capabilities as far as interpreting the data, and so it's a really fast result, and it's really in depth. Just really, really interesting preventive care tool.
That sounds really interesting. So, I know we've just barely touched the your book of products.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give me 5 to 10 products that are just kind of standing out in your mind as far as things we haven't touched? No rundowns, just basic bullets and points about what it is that you guys do offer. Like,
We have well over 150 configurable, customizable solutions ranging um, from vision, hearing, and dental provider discount networks. So you're talking about um, discounts on dental exams, discounts on crowns, on fillings, all these things. And we're talking pre-negotiated prices with a very robust nationwide dental network. So that's a product, for example, that I like to pair with the teledentistry. It really does, a lot of the problem with a dental, not to say it's a problem, but there are limitations with dental insurance products. We don't sell insurance, but that there's a maximum. There is a maximum benefit for just about every PPO dental plan out there, and it's usually $1,000 to $1,500. Well, you can burn through that in one visit pretty easily. Um, you know, in the dentist office. You really can. So what happens a lot of times is people will end up putting off treatment because they've burned through their maximum benefit for the year. So maybe they do need those 2 crowns, but they're going to wait on the one until next year, and then it becomes a problem and becomes then an emergency room claim, because they got an infected tooth or an impacted tooth or whatever the case may be. So there's all kinds of different scenarios like that. But the vision, dental, and hearing discount programs are very, very valuable in the real world, and very, very usable. Vision discounts on things like lenses, frames. You get complimentary eye exams, and we pair multiple nationwide networks together, just so a lot of times, because it just makes sense, because one person might like to shop at CVS to pick up their prescription, another person might like to go to their local guy down the street, somebody else may want to go to Walmart. So we try to pair those two together so you just have more options, and they're very, very inexpensive to do that. So those are a few. I also am a fan of prescription savings programs. Huge fan, and that's when I'm talking about prescription saving programs, what I really mean is $0 prescription formularies. And so what that means is you have a long list, and there are a couple of different kinds, but both kinds have a very long list of over 1,000 different prescriptions that can be that the user can get for $0. They can go to their pharmacy, pick it up at the counter, $0. They can have it shipped to their front door at no extra cost. And so when we say acute formulary, what that means is that it's like 95 to 98% of any prescriptions that you could be prescribed at in-person urgent care or through primary care. There's going to be a generic version of that on the acute formulary, more than likely. And you can get those again for $0. There's also chronic care formularies available. And what does that mean? We're talking about maintenance medications, blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications. There are even anxiety and depression medications that are included on some of those. So, and even if your prescription is not on the $0 formulary, there's a very robust discount network. So you can get 50, 60, 70% discounts on a lot of these. If you can't get it for $0 through the program, you can likely get a big discount.
That's great. So I know you guys, your team has a big consultation coming up here, so I know you're pressed for time. But if we could wrap this up, how do they get a hold of you? Your website, your contact information.
Good question. So check out our website, remotewellnesssolutions.com. You'll find link to our socials on there. You'll find our information on the contact page, phone number, email, all of that. Also, go check us out on LinkedIn. And you'll find a book an appointment button on my profile. And you can grab 30 minutes on my calendar, and we can start the conversation there.
Well, again, thank you very much, Matthew, for your time. And it was very informative, and I hope to have you back on here.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.